guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have for you my March book wrap up. So in the month of March, I finished a total of 8 books. I am filming a couple days before the end of March. However, I don't think I will finish anything else. So I wanted to get this video filmed and be able to put up within the first few days of March. So we're going to get right down to it. And like my last monthly wrap-up video, I do have my iPad here so that I can give you a little bit more of a description. I'll use websites like Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Goodreads, Google Books, Wikipedia, stuff like that, so that I can give you a proper synopsis of each story. The first book we have is The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli, and Barnes & Noble gives this synopsis. 17-year-old Molly Peskin-Suso knows all about unrequited love. No matter how many times her twin sister Cassie tells her to woman up, Molly can't seem to stomach the idea of rejection, so she's careful. Fat girls always have to be careful. Then a cute new girl enters Cassie's orbit, and for the first time ever, Molly's cynical twin is a lovesick mess. Meanwhile, Molly's totally not dying of loneliness, except for the part where she is. Luckily, Cassie's new girlfriend comes with a cute hipster boy sidekick. If Molly can win him over, she'll get her first kiss and she'll get her twin back. There's only one problem. Molly's co-worker, Reed. He's a chubby Tolkien superfan with a season pass to the Ren Fair, and there's absolutely no way Molly could fall for him, right? I really liked this read. It was so quick and easy to read. It's a young adult novel. I gave it 4 stars. Super cute story. I really liked the concept of the two sisters. I love that, so they are a family of 2 moms, a little brother, and then the 2 twins. And one twin is a lesbian while the other one is just kind of figuring out herself and what she wants in life. I think this was a great story to read for a young girl, 17, 18 years old, maybe going through that weird transition phase, starting to get into boys. Okay, so probably more like 14, but starting to get into boys, not really sure what she wants out of life. It was so fun to read. Also, the body image aspect really kind of spoke to me. I grew up a fat girl, still am, always probably will be. But I grew up a fat girl, always thinking that no guy was ever going to want me. And so I was very, very cautious. And the character Molly really spoke to me and reminded me of myself. So I really, really liked that. The next book I finished in March was City of Bones from the Mortal Instruments series. This one was book 1 by Cassandra Clare. I had read this book before, so I wanted to listen to the audiobook because I'm technically supposed to be reading book 3, but it's been so long since I read the first 2, so I've been listening to the audiobooks to kind of refresh my memory. So Goodreads describes the synopsis as this. When 15-year-old Clary Frey heads out to the Pandemonium Club in New York City, she hardly expects to witness a murder. Much less a murder committed by 3 teenagers covered with strange tattoos and brandishing bizarre weapons. Then the body disappears into thin air. It's hard to call the police when the murderers are invisible to everyone else and when there is nothing, not even a smear of blood, to show that a boy has died. Or was he a boy? This is Clary's first meeting with the Shadowhunters, warriors dedicated to ridding the earth of demons. It's also her first encounter with Jace, a Shadowhunter who looks a little like an angel and acts a lot like a jerk. Within 24 hours, Clary is pulled into Jace's world with a vengeance when her mother disappears and Clary herself is attacked by a demon. But why would demons be interested in ordinary mundanes like Clary and her mother? And how did Clary suddenly get the sight? The Shadowhunters would like to know. So this was another 4-star read for me. I mean, well, listen to, I guess. Really just to catch up. I really like the Shadowhunters books. I started the series on Freeform, never really got into it. I watched the movie. It was okay. I personally like books better than movies, better than TV shows and all of that, but that's just me. I really want to catch up so that I can read, I think it's the Elder Scrolls series. it just looks so good. And I know that there's kind of a way you're supposed to read the Mortal Instruments series and like the Clockwork Angel ones, the Infernal Elements or something like that. But there's supposed to be an order that you're supposed to read these in, so I'm trying to catch up with everything that I've read so that I can continue on with all of the series by Cassandra Clare. The next book I have is Which Way to Mintwood by Addison Creek. And this is a Witch of Mintwood, kind of like a cozy mystery series, but this was book number 1. And Goodreads describes it as this: house falling down? Check. Pet sitting job with annoying clients? Check. Ability to speak to ghosts? Which has the unfortunate side effect of having to listen to what they say back. Double check. Hot high school crush still in town, being all successful and stuff while you protest his building projects? All kinds of checks. Did anyone say Witch of Mintwood? Yep. Just add murder and this will be a week to remember. This was okay. This was a free book I got from, I think it was Free Booksy. So every day I get an email with like free books from Kindle or for Kindle, Nook, all of that stuff. And it's generally stuff from Amazon. And this was one of them, and it was cute. It was a cute, fun mystery read, but not really anything that really stuck out in my mind. I probably won't read it again. It was okay. The next book I have is Mr. Popper's Penguins by Richard Atwater. So my daughter read this with her school, and I typically like to read the books that she reads in school just so that I can help her when it comes time for testing, so that I can ask her questions about what she read, make sure she's understanding what she's reading. That's just, I've been doing it all year like this, and it's been working out really well for us, and she's doing really well with her reading grades. Goodreads gives the book description as follows. The Poppers unexpectedly come into possession of a penguin, then get a penguin from the zoo who mates with the first penguin to have 10 baby penguins. Before long, something must be done before they eat the Poppers out of house and home. A classic of American humor, the story of a gentle house painter and his high-stepping penguins has delighted children for generations. This was cute. It was a fun read. My daughter really enjoyed it. If you have kids, I highly suggest reading it to them, or if they're old enough, read it, kind of like do a co-read with your child. It was a lot of fun. My daughter loved the penguins. She loved the little silly antics that the Poppers would get into with the penguins. It was fun. It's not something I would read again unless she had to read it again for some odd reason, but it was a lot of fun to read with her. The next book I read was A Heart So Fierce and Broken. This was the Cursebreakers series number 2 book by Bridget Kemmerer, I think. And the description from Goodreads is as follows. Find the heir, win the crown. The curse is finally broken, but Prince Ren of Emberfall faces darker troubles still. Rumors circulate that he is not the true heir and that forbidden magic has been unleashed in Emberfall. Although Ren has Harper by his side, his guardsman Gray is missing, leaving more questions than answers. Win the crown, save the kingdom. Rumored to be the heir, Gray has been on the run since he destroyed Lilith. He has no desire to challenge Ren, until Karis Lurin once again threatens to take Emberfall by force. Her own daughter, Liamara, sees the flaws in her mother's violent plan, but can she convince Gray to stand against Ren, even for the good of Emberfall? The heart-pounding, compulsively readable saga continues as loyalties are tested and new love blooms in a kingdom on the brink of war. In the sequel to New York Times bestselling A Curse So Dark and Lonely, Bridget Kemmerer returns to the world of Emberfall in a lush fantasy where friends become foes and love blooms in the darkest of places. I personally have loved the Cursebreaker series. I loved A Curse So Dark and Lonely, and this book did not disappoint either. The only issue I had was I would have liked more in the story about Ren and Harper. You fall in love with those characters in A Curse So Dark and Lonely, and then they're barely in this book, which was heartbreaking. I'm hoping in the 3rd book, you kind of see all perspectives. So this is really from the perspective of Gray and Liamara. You do get, I think, a couple of chapters with Prince Ren and Harper, but for the most part, it's Gray and Liamara. I hope in the 3rd book, which I believe is the final book, and I plan on reading it sometime soon. I do hope that they go back and forth between all 4 of them, and I think that would really, really be interesting. The next book I have, book number 6, is Covet from the Crave series. This was number 3 in the Crave series by Tracy Wolff. Okay, this pulled at my heartstrings so much. I absolutely love this book. I'm going to read you the description. This is also from Goodreads. I may have reached my breaking point. As if trying to graduate from a school for supernaturals isn't stressful enough, my relationship status has gone from complicated to a straight-up dumpster fire. Oh, and the bloodletter has decided to drop a bomb of epic proportions on us all. Then again, when has anything at Katmere Academy not been intense? And the hits just keep on coming. Jackson's turned colder than an Alaskan winter. The circle is splintered over my upcoming coronation, and as if things couldn't get worse, now there's an arrest warrant for Hudson's and my supposed crimes, which apparently means a lifetime prison sentence with a deadly unbreakable curse. Choices will have to be made, and I fear not everyone will survive. This was a 5-star read for me. The entire Crave series has been a 5-star read for me. It's Twilight, but with a hint of humor and fun, and it actually feels more like high school students, even though they're supernatural they're supernatural beings. But it has that feel and sarcasticness and the drama, not just that Romeo and Juliet love story that really Twilight was. I cannot wait for a book 4 to come out, which I believe comes out October, November. I am so sad that I finished this so quick because I really want to go back and read them all. They're that good. They're so much fun. They are young adult novels. Not everybody's going to like them, but then it's not everybody's cup of tea. But I don't want to wait, but I have to. I can't get enough of this Crave series. I have it on my Kindle. I have the books. I have audiobooks. I absolutely love this series. The next book I have for you is The Survivors by Jane Harper. I got this from Book of the Month. I believe it was my January pick, and it was okay. It wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be. I'll read you the description and then we'll get into that. So this is the description from Goodreads. Coming home dredges up deeply buried secrets. Kieran Elliott's life changed forever on the day a reckless mistake led to devastating consequences. The guilt that still haunts him resurfaces during a visit with his young family to the small coastal community he once called home. Kieran's parents are struggling in a town where fortunes are forged by the sea. Between them all is his absent brother Finn. When a body is discovered on the beach, long-held secrets threaten to emerge. A sunken wreck, a missing girl, and questions that have never washed away. I liked this. It was okay. It was okay. It was not what I thought it was going to be. I honestly thought it was going to be about a storm hitting and then somebody turning up and being murdered. I thought it was going to be something like that, but it was basically the storm happened years ago and then the murder happens now, and it kind of dredges back all of this intense memories from when the storm hit. And it was okay. It wasn't something I typically read and probably won't read again. The next book I have for you is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I wanted to like this. I really did, but it's not something that I was really into. I'm not one that likes to read about war. I don't like to talk about war. I don't like guns. We have enough violence in our world that I don't like to read about more violence, which is weird because I like true crime and murder. But like, when it comes to like actual wars and stuff, I'm not into those types of things. And I knew it was historical fiction, and I tried to get by that point and that aspect because everybody said how good it was. It was really good and very well written. It just wasn't a story that appealed to me, which stinks. Because of that, I had to give it 3 stars. The Goodreads description is as follows. With courage, grace, and powerful insight, best-selling author Kristen Hanna captures the epic panorama of World War II and illuminates an intimate part of history seldom seen, the Women's War. The Nightingale tells the stories of two sisters separated by years and experience, by ideals, passion, and circumstance, each embarking on her own dangerous path towards survival, love, and freedom in German-occupied, war-torn France. A heartbreakingly beautiful novel that celebrates the resilience of the human spirit and the durability of women. It is a novel for everyone, a novel for a lifetime. I do think it is one of those books that I had to read. It shows women in such a powerful way, but it's just not something I easily got into. I had to take this out of the library, I think 2 to 3 times. It might have been 3, just because it took me so long to really get into it. And then when I finally did, it was like the last 30%, I think, and I flew through it because I only had it a few more days and I didn't want to take it out again. So that being said, I do think it is a book that many women should read because it does show us in a very powerful light and what we went through during the war while the men were fighting. But it is not a book I will ever read again. It was hard for me to read. Anyway, that is it for my March book wrap-up. What did you guys read in the month of March? Anything good? Anything similar to me? Did we read some of the same things? Let me know in the comments below, and also let me know what's on your TBR list for April. I personally haven't decided what I'm going to read. I have a few books that I'm reading currently and we'll keep going with those, but after that, I'm not entirely sure what I want to read. I just kind of go based on what's left in my challenges, what's looking good to me right now, and all that fun, juicy stuff. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.